Good morning, ladies. Welcome back to part 2 of What If Mono Was in My Hero Academia. So where we left off, Mono, and her were going to her house, and she got attacked by the bunch of random dudes, and so they got taken care of. Basically got killed by it was some random dude, so then when they went back to their house, she decides, to do kissing him. Yeah. They've been dating for, let's say, 5 days. Or, no, 5 weeks. And, yeah. So both of them, of course, Mono, doesn't know how to do things properly. So they taught him how will I put this? Propose. Nose. Yeah. So then, so they went on one date. Sorry about that. And yes, so they went to some romantic thing. On the date thing. And then he got onto one knee. Here it comes. He tells her that after he saw her for the first time and like all that stuff, as he says those words. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it because something's making me laugh right now. Yeah. So it was a romantic thing, as she says yes. As they got the whole wedding set up. She had in a wedding dress, and she got married to him. Yeah, literally got married to him. And yeah. They went on romantic things and all people should do. And so so I forget her last name. So both of them went full on last name. This one would be their last name. So
a Panjo say ordinary.
Yeah. So that's their last name. So yeah, and ordinary, yeah, is their family name, and yeah. So she ends up not waiting, but she ends up deciding to tell him to have a kid. As she says, I know that you're the Nomu and all that stuff. Yeah, so she says that. As he says this. Yeah. As he knows that he's not embarrassed. Huh? But he says, I was thinking the same thing. As they both did it. They did the deed. And, yeah. And, of course, she shows that. As he's happy about it. And then when he tells the quirk doctor that they are having like a kid along the way, and he's happy about it. So he basically, yeah, he does all that stuff. And a couple weeks later, it was a girl. And on the YouTube short stories, I made a YouTube post of what would be her name. And let's see. First vote is Manko. So yeah. Minko or Mineko. So the Mineko, if I in this thing, unless it means summit and chilled. Yeah, that's just basically or child. So yeah, that's Mineko. Oh. Yeah. So now we're in the actual My Hero Academia universe. So yeah. So she is now went from this to being the happiest wife and mother to happiest wife. Yeah. To yeah. And having a child thing, yeah. She ends up doing like of course her daughter is now at I'm doing a little bit of a time skip thing to for just her to be at 15. Now she's at UA with Zuko and the rest of them. And she has the powers of her mother, like her quirk, And she also has her father's quirk. And she's a little bit of a hybrid between human and the Nomu. Who? Yeah. So she's basically is she can change her style, talk to the Nomus, who's they could hear her pretty clearly. And through all this time, his quirks are now fused into his body. Basically, it is now harder to remove them. Like, actually, without having to kill him. So, yeah. So he ends up, of course, he goes, walks around as she remembers that his power allows him to not be affected by things. So yeah, the crab that he had the tail thing, he touched it and as he actually copies the power and transforms it into a quirk thing. Yeah. So he's basically a evolution Nomu. So basically he can evolve his body to handle more than one quirk at a time, or more than 3. So yeah. So then he's also immortal, so yeah. And when he actually went out in space, as his body doesn't like defunctions things or anything like that. So when he touched the moon landing thing, so no matter what suit, or he actually touched the moon, as he he creates power for him. So yeah, as he enjoys the rocks and like all that stuff. And yeah, his daughter. I'm skipping the internship because she's in class 1A, and her mother her father's basically a powerhouse, so makes her the second powerhouse. Yeah, and then what else? She ends up hanging out with her friends, and she's like a popular girl. Like everyone enjoys her company. Yeah, that's scary, man. Scary man. And so, yes, the as he actually so then yeah, I'm skipping the rest because it's in canon. But yeah, so all the way to All for One kidnaps his creations, his daughter, like his daughter, Minko or Minko, as when he was walking around, hanging out, as he saw his own sister, or his no, not his sister, his own daughter is captured by him. As all my, he was gonna take his last breath. Yeah, as yeah. So his daughter, or no, so he and her. Of course, she knows that he's gonna be a hero. Go ahead, as he goes to and absorbs the attack, and says, "Huh, you took in my daughter." Huh. As he had red glowing eyes, hatred, and because All for One took his daughter. Yeah, took her, or Menko, away from her, like, classmates. That makes him mad. As he knew what or All for One was gonna do. He was gonna, like, turn his daughter into a villain. So, and torture her with a bunch of villains around her. As that makes him mad. Even, yeah. As All for One says, how will you do that? As he gets punched in the face by him, as he says that I'm not gonna clown around. As she knows that he's gonna kill All for One. As she runs over to her daughter, covers her eyes to make sure she doesn't, like, see what he's gonna do to her, to All for One. As he tears All for One to pieces. And do you really want me to go over his or her powers? Her powers are the same thing as her father's. Others. And her mother's. And so, yeah. But she like, attracts guys. And takes their, or copies their quirks, and yeah. So, yeah. And then, after All for One died, because of his creation, tore him to shreds. And, yeah. As everyone was terrified of his power. As Bunny Girl is like, man, that Nomu who is. As one of the pro heroes turns to her and tells her that that's no Nomu, that's the Muno. Oh, his family. He has a family that he takes really good care of them. Like yeah. So after All for One died, he says, "Sorry, that took so like, hey." As he knows that he's a citizen thing, but there's a funny thing. He actually is the one person the crime or the villains scared of the most. Through 4 years when he was just a single Nomu. As Nezu, like after Mono walks over to check on his daughter, as he walks up to him, can we talk privately? Sure. Okay, as he gives her a kiss, as tells her that the will be back, okay, before dinner, okay. Okay. As he starts talking to Nezu, as Nezu tells him that we have noticed that since you first appeared, the crime rate dropped to 0. Like, there's no crime around. You're the only one that we so far learned that that you decided to basically do something this crazy. And so we decided, how do you feel to be a pro hero, full-time pro hero? Sure. Yeah. As long as I see my family thing, because I know that I'm a Nomu. I accept that as my self. As, of course, he kind of feels bad and about, of course, Nezu actually tells him that no need to, we already know that you're a Nomu and all that stuff. But you're going to be a first ever Nomu that became a pro hero. As he says, okay. As, yeah. So then the plan, I'm not really useful for her, like, basically to search, but I do have as he accepts the to being a full-time pro hero. He only sees his family when he's not on, like, work duty. So, yeah. So then he got caught up. And yeah, he worked, or his actual hero name is Pro Hero Nomu, or like something. So yeah, he ends up becoming a #1 pro hero. Yeah, that everyone admires, as his daughter. Actually, one night when he puts his daughter to, like, bed, she actually tells him that she's very proud of him because that oh. And yeah, and his wife is proud of him for becoming a pro hero. Yeah. So he went from being a Nomu that only gathers up quirks, to becoming a pro hero. Yeah. And his popularity skyrocketed when he went from being not drawing attention to himself to having fanboys and fangirls all the way around him. Yeah. As he's just like Mr. Aizawa, but instead of like an All Might. Plus, there was one quirk that he copied from one of the pro heroes. When his quirk first developed, full, like, awakened one, he could copy memories from those quirks that he copied. So he remembers All Might. Because one day, when he was so kind enough, he actually copied hers memories when she just had one for all. Yeah, he ends up becoming enough powerful to... Yeah, but he didn't need one for all. He copied her float ability, like she basically floats around. So All Might, on one mission, All Might asks, "Why do you have float ability?" Well, All Might, you probably remember her masters. The one that she had the same quirk as All Might remembers. Yeah. As he ends up, like, when I was the Nomu, when my power started to show, I can absorb their, or I could copy their memories too, so I remember. And yeah, so Muriel, oh, or actually, let's say overhaul fight begun, as yeah, as she was there, and she tells them that the probably my dad was here, he would have taken this so hard that even yeah, because they know that her father can basically do everything to protect her or protect his family, his friends from anything. So yeah, he basically won against Overhaul because he tells Overhaul that you do not touch my daughter, as he beats a snot out of Overhaul. Yeah. And plus, funny enough, the Nomus that were with, like, All for One ends up being free, and they are now uncles and aunts to her, yeah. So then, yeah, basically it's scary at first. As when he becomes, or when, yeah, everyone, including, like, the audience, are like, heck yeah. And, yeah. So he doesn't actually age. He actually has the power to. So, yeah. So she stays the same. And she tells her husband have more children. And she goes a little bit overboard. Instead of having like one or two, she had the entire boatloads of like 5 boys, 10 girls. Yeah. Inside her. Or no, wait. For 3 weeks apart. So yeah. And he's not mad at if one of them didn't make it through. He's he's that kind of person that never gets mad at anything. Unless his, yeah. And his daughter ends up dating to one of the students. Definitely not to Grape, but actually to she gets married to him. I was gonna go for the mental guy, or the copy thing, or that dark, or yeah. So yeah, I'm going for Groot guy, this guy right here. So she ends up getting married to him right as they became pro heroes. Or they went on a date and then became pro heroes. Or they got married, I meant to say. Yeah, and yeah. Then he ends up was like, alright. So yeah. He ends up, or actually they got him a cell phone and for a couple of Christmas things. And happy Christmas to everyone. Yeah. So he basically, yeah, all the Nomus, or all the kids of the Monos, are basically hybrids of, yeah, there's about 16 kids in that family. Or, okay, so hold on. 9 girls and 7 boys. Yeah, so they start, or yeah, they had weird names that I'm not gonna go over. As they all hanged out, and all of them, like, they treat each other as, yeah, and yeah, since then, yeah, of course she went from this of like some people mistreat her, like throw beer cans and all that stuff, to being a wife of him and being the mother to 16 children. That's pretty much a lot of children's, a lot of mouths to feed. So yeah, he and or so yeah, and then he got stronger and bigger. So he's using his size thing. So to keep himself at the normal human level, like at the same level as her, so that he doesn't have to look at her chest. Yeah. So then he ends up, yeah, like the meteor was gonna hit Earth. He grew to his, what he's supposed to be, his full size, as he was bigger than the mountain lady's transformation. His, or her transformation was size of his little toe, or pinky toe. Yeah, or toenail. Yeah. She could basically crawl onto him, and he would never feel it. Yeah. Plus, sometimes when he does that, she climbs up his leg and all the way to his shoulder. Yeah. So, yeah. You thought I was going to say something different, aren't you? So, yeah. Basically, he actually, when he tilts his head backwards, he grabs her to make sure she doesn't, like, burn. So he basically lifts or turns his head back, and when he hits the meteor with his forehead, yeah, he ends up sending the meteor, like, he basically sending the meteor right out of orbit as blood dripping down from his head as he wipes it all off as he converts back to his normal size. Like, they're two, like, same size as her. Yeah. As she sees the blood on his forehead, as he says that if that meteor broke into multiple pieces, then I would have just thrown it like a baseball, but I had you on in my hand, so that's why. As he's not blaming her. Yeah. So basically, she still is in love with him. And as he wipes the blood off, he doesn't, or he does remember. It's just his skull, because his skull is actually, his entire body is indestructible. So, yeah. So, plus, he actually regains memories when he, yeah. So basically, yeah. So this is the end of this What If. So please leave a like, share, subscribe, and do all the things in the world. And do you like this meme? And basically wanted to do it to absolutely be so funny. Bleachers already has their own memes of it, like her holding up like that little thing right there. Huh? One of these days I should do the what if her got married to, or get the main character. I should do like one on ships of him and her. So you could see it on her, the name thing. This. Huh? So yeah. So could you imagine me doing like a ship between those? And I could do the pole butt who gives a crud? So, yeah. If you guys would want me to do this what if, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and do all the things in the world.